If you're a woman over 50, there are worries that you're carrying around quietly that you probably don't talk to others about. And in midlife, we get to this point where we start to worry about things that maybe we don't want to share with our close friends or our partners. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. As women, especially in midlife, there's this expectation that we have it all together, that we're supposed to have it all together. And quietly, secretly, many of us are laying awake at night worrying about things, thinking about how we don't have it all together. And when I turned 50 and started into the perimenopause stage of life, I did notice some changes, things that, I was starting to worry about that I really never worried about before. So if you're feeling anxious, if you are feeling overwhelmed, unsure, this video is for you. There are several things today I wanted to talk about, but this video is about some of the things that us women over 50 are silently worrying about. If you're new here, hi, I'm Lori. This is my channel, Ever After 50. You've got me here with my Valentine's tree. And here on this channel, I talk about all things midlife, mid-size, maybe some traveling thrown in there. I'm a full-time working mom. I have a small business and I have 2 young adults still living in the home. So if any of that resonates, make sure you subscribe and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. Now let's get back to this video. Once I hit 50, I did go through a midlife transformation, and I'll share that video above. And I did start to make a lot of changes in my life. But I have noticed that there are some other things that I started worrying about that I never really worried about before. And I've done other videos as well talking about things that I stopped worrying about, which I'll tag here as well. But so some of the other things that kind of are creeping in that maybe, we're not talking about with other people, we're laying awake at night worrying about things. That's what I'm here to talk about today. And, I think the first thing is that, am I running out of time? So that could mean many different things. For me, it's, am I running out of time with life? Am I running out of time to, spend with my family? Am I running out of time at work? Am I running out of time to make more money? So that could mean so many different things to different people. But, I'm on this kind of countdown now. And as every birthday passes, it's just another year where you start to wonder, did I do enough? Did I, have enough fun? The years are counting down. Am I going to be here for my kids? Am I going to be here for grandkids? Did I take enough trips? Did I do enough with my kids? All of these things you start to think about. But having said that, I will say that, I'm at that point in my life where I'm seizing every opportunity. Whatever time that I have left, I'm using it to do all the things that I wanted to do, not stopping at anything. And I am on the countdown with work as well. I've got about 4.5, 5 years left until retirement. And I am making this life the best that I can. But that does not stop me from still worrying about other things. You may worry, but just remember that your story hasn't ended. There's still lots of time to write the story, rewrite the story, do the things that you want to do. One of the things that I also worry about is, will we be financially okay? Did we save enough? Did we invest enough? Is our pension going to be enough? Is the government pension going to be enough? Will we have enough to survive? Will we have enough to live the lifestyle that we want to live? And, I think by reflecting, it doesn't mean that you failed. It doesn't mean you've done something wrong. I think it's just being realistic, and responsible to start thinking, okay, will I have enough? Should I plan for more? And at our point, mid 50s on the tail end of work, that's what I've been thinking about a lot lately. That trying to predict, what the expenses are going to be, what income we're going to have, and is it going to be enough? And at this point also just trying to get rid of whatever debt that we might have, right? Pay down whatever you can on the mortgage. We still have a mortgage. We will have a mortgage. I think many people are in that boat as well. But I think it's just, you're trying to plan. There's so many unexpected expenses, and I'm of the mindset that I do like to plan. Another worry is, do I still matter? And I think many times, most of us feel that, maybe we're not as valued anymore. We feel invisible. We feel like we're not being heard, that we have basically blended in with the furniture. And I think that, aging, it doesn't make us less important. If anything, it's the opposite, because we have so much to offer. We have life experience. We have some excellent advice for all the younger generations. And I think that, we have a lot of wisdom, and we have insight and experience and empathy and, creativity, all these things to still offer to the world. It's important to remember that we are not fading, we are evolving, and that we're always going to have something to offer back to the world. I think another worry for many people is, will you end up alone? I'm married, but, my worry is that maybe once we get to retirement, the things I want to do, my husband doesn't want to do. And I worry that I will be doing things alone. However, I have done a video about being comfortable. I'll share that up here. Being comfortable doing things alone, and how it's necessary to be comfortable doing things alone, because not everyone has someone that they can go out and do things with. Our kids grow up, maybe friendships have ended, relationships evolve. And there's a difference between being alone and being lonely. And if we fill our lives with things that will, fill our cups, then we may not have that feeling of loneliness. And again, I think it's really important to start doing things alone and being comfortable with your own company. And I think that, loneliness doesn't mean that you're unwanted. I mean, many people prefer to be alone. Many people prefer just having the peace of not having a huge circle of friends. And we have to look at being alone as entering that next chapter of being open to having more meaningful relationships, because your circle is a lot smaller. For me, I really enjoy, taking road trips. I even do solo trips. I have learned to incorporate a lot of self-care into my day-to-day. I'll make my coffee, I'll sit down and read a book. I enjoy just having that quiet time to sit and just be at peace with your own thoughts. And more and more, I've been spending time alone, going for walks alone. There's so many things that you can add into your day to just bring that peace and bring that joy, so that you don't have that loneliness. Another worry is, did I give too much to everyone else and forget about myself? And I think we spend so many years, decades, taking care of everyone else, children, parents, spouses, our job, other family members, that we sometimes forget about ourselves. And when I turned 50, I decided that I was going to transform my life, and I was going to start making a lot of changes. And I'll tag that video up here. And that meant taking the time for myself, making sure that I had self-care practices for myself, and doing things alone, and that everyone else wasn't going to be the priority. I was going to be the priority. So I think that's really important for us to remember that at one point we have to say, I've taken care of everyone else. I've done my job. I'm going to take a bit of a step back, and now it's time to take care of myself. We also have to remember that it's not selfish to want to take care of ourselves, because if we don't take care of ourselves, we can't take care of everyone else. And that at that point, you get to that point where enough is enough. It's time to turn the focus back to yourself. Another worry is, what if my best years are behind me? And I think many of us fear the excitement, the passion, the adventure, and that the purpose is gone. But, the truth is that some of us have the most meaningful, peaceful, and fulfilling years once we hit 50 and after. And when you finally stop, living for approval and starting to live for yourself, then that's when you start to see the shift. And then once you shift your mindset, you will see that there's a lot of years. And, you may still worry, obviously, because that's another thing, is that you're running out of time. That's the feeling that I always have. I'm running out of time. I have all these years behind me, and did I do enough? If you've recognized yourself in any of these worries, you're not alone. And, say this to yourself. Okay, you're not broken. You're not damaged. You're not alone. You are human. and you are a thoughtful person, you are growing, you're caring, there's still lots of time, and you're allowed to think about what the next chapter looks like. And many of us will still have our worries, but the most important thing is to think about the future, how you're going to make some changes, and how this next chapter is going to look different than the last chapter. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for being here. If you haven't already subscribed, don't forget. And also don't forget to hit the notification bell. We've got Dante over here having a nap. So here on this channel, I'll be sharing all of my midlife adventures, midlife thoughts, midlife advice, and I hope you'll subscribe. If you are here and any of these worries resonated with you, let me know that you're here. Let me also know some of the things that you're worrying about in midlife and after 50. I'm happy to hear from anyone in the comments as long as you are kind always. Let's get the conversation going. And until next time, bye for now.